Welcome to another Starcraft 2 replay, and this is going to be, I don't know, probably a boring video for a lot of you, but it's kind of, if you're interested in like how I come up with builds or how I tweak builds, this is probably good information here I can actually show you because I'm doing it right now, and I thought, why don't I record? This is something I never actually do. So this is my TvZ build, where I go for the Fortress Fast Expand. And back in the day before I did the Engineering Bay block, the Command Center, I go straight to Command Center first, and I went down on 15. And then by the time you got to 19 of 19 supply, making SCVs, your command center was more or less pretty close to finished, so you can just wait for your command center to be your next set of supply. However, I've changed this build a lot because I do the eBay block now versus Zerg. And the command center no longer goes down on 15. And in fact, I thought it goes down on 16, but since I'm constantly queuing SCVs, it's more like 17 that goes down on, because I purchase the next SCV before slowing that command center down. And it's actually screwed up this build a lot, and I never noticed it until, I don't know, Halby just did a video on my opener, and I saw like all these problems with it, like, oh, if he just does this, he'll die. If the Zerg just does this, he'll die, and this isn't really efficient. Like, when I share with him the way I do my opener, I'm like, when I looked at my opener, I was like, wait a minute, this isn't actually good. And I'm going to show you the problem in a second. We'll just speed it up a touch. So there's the command center, double gas, the barracks. I think I built the Eng Bay out here, but I'm just testing it. So it's just the timing, you get the timing right. And yeah, we're already gone too far. We're going to look when I hit 19 of 19 here. 10, 11, 12, 13. And there's the SCV. And take a look at the command center. 50 seconds out. I'm not sure if this is typical or not, but even as like if 40 seconds is typical, that's still a lot of time. I mean, SCVs take 17 seconds to build, so I'm actually sacrificing like 2 to 3 SCVs. With 50 seconds, is actually very close to 3 of just like idle build time. Now we can continue. See what the money looks like. I do cancel the Eng Bay typically by this point, so I hope I cancel it here. Still test video. Yeah, there I cancel it. So there the command center finishes. I turn into a fortress. I build one SCV, I make one marine out of this, and then I build the orbital. So you think that might spend through the mineral bank I get for not building those SCVs, but it didn't really. I still have 180 sitting here. So now we'll kind of get to the point of this video is I want to tweak this build. And I don't actually have an answer for this yet, but I want to tweak this build to be better, a little bit more precise, and to kind of avoid this 50-second gap. Now, the most obvious answer is to try to fit in another supply depot somewhere. Don't rely on this as my second set of supply, but I don't think that's really possible because I don't want to delay my barracks. I really want that first marine, and then I don't want to delay the 3 marine poke I do. And it'll slow my orbital too if I delay it. I don't want to delay my engineering bay or my gases because I need those to get the requirements for this PF as soon as this command center finishes, which is important if he opens with a lot of Zerglings early on. You want to turn this into a PF right away. So I don't think I can fit in another supply depot. So what I want to look at is how to spend my money differently so I don't have this pointless 50-second wait time for a command center. So what can I do to make this better? Well, one thing I can do is I can throw this command center down quicker. Because say I just go to, we can move back to the point where I'm about to make it. Say like here. So the way I build it now is I just do constant SCVs, and as soon as I can get the money without stopping SCV production, I throw down the command center, which is when I've queued up my 17 of 19th SCV, I can throw down the command center. So what I could do is just stop at making SCVs at say 16 of 19, or stop at even May 15 of 19. And what would the result of that be? It would be that this command center is down sooner. So I can extend this supply to 30 earlier because I built this sooner. And I don't lose much because I can still get up to 19 of 19 because, you know, I have that 50-second window. So even if I delay SCVs a little bit now, I can still catch up and get to 19 of 19. I could also maybe even spend more money earlier. Since the command center is down faster, I want the gases sooner and probably the Ing bay sooner. That way I can still support turning this into a PF even though it's done at an earlier time. And then of course if I got the barracks down sooner, it means I can make this orbital quicker. Another option actually that I could look into trying to tweak is once we get to this point here where this command center can't do anything anymore because I'm capped at 19 of 19 and I can't do anything for 50 seconds. The other thing I could try to play with is maybe getting this barracks done faster. If the barracks are done quicker, then I could still keep this active at 19 of 19 just by turning it into an orbital during the downtime that this you're waiting on this command center to give supply. So I have two options here: either to remove this gap of time by getting the command center faster, stopping SCV production for a moment to do it, or I could stall SCV production to get this barracks sooner. And if the quicker I get the barracks, I can turn this into an orbital. So that's how I'm going to be doing this video, and we'll see how it turns out. Really good map for testing this stuff. I'm not sure if there's better ones recently, but this map's been around since like the beta. If you go in arcade and you search for Yabot, yet another build order tester, Yabot. And I don't know, pick one that's rated well, official, yeah, looks good. Daybreak. And I don't know, maybe it shows you how to use it in the game, but this is you can preload build orders into this, and then it'll walk you through the build order step by step. Or you can just kind of do what I use it for, which is just kind of playing with your own builds, and then you can do the -R command just to restart. So I can constantly restart the game without having to, exit and then go back into Battle.net and find the game again and rejoin. Then so there's some pre-built build orders here, and then you can download your own. You can download ones from like their website or something like that. If I know how to do like Immortal All In or something like that, I can walk you through it step by step. But I'm just going to do freestyle. I'll say when I want to end this. So I think what I'm going to do first, I'm not going to do anything fancy with the SCVs here, try to get them on the close patches, because I want this to be representative of a typical game or a worst case scenario game. I think what I'm going to try first is I'm going to go to 16 of 19 and then completely stop all SCV production then. I'm going to build my command center, I'm going to build my gases, I'm going to build my barracks and my Ing bay before I build the 17th SCV. We'll just see how that works out. eBay blocking SCV. Engineering bay. And now we'll just start queuing up the SCVs. I shouldn't actually do anything here because I'm often not looking this way. So we'll go back to over here. So 14, 15, 16 SCVs, that's all I want for SCVs. And we usually pull this guy off and send him over here and patrol him a little bit. And we'll start moving out to build the command center. Command center. Gas. Send this guy home. It's usually around the time I send him home. Gas. Barracks. And the engineering bay. And now we'll go back to making SCVs. And we'll just see how this timing works out. Ideally, I want to be hitting 19 of 19 right when this finishes. And it looks like this isn't going to work out. Barracks actually finishes and command center at the same time, so I'm just going to pause it here. So we can see the 19th SCV, even though it says 19 here, is not finished yet, so that's not good. I can't afford the planetary, and I have more gas than I need. So I cut SCVs for too long. I can't afford to do what I want to with this command center when it finishes. I can't get. I could get the orbital also right now. So ideally, I want 300 minerals right now. So you can see that cut of SCVs is I got the infrastructure too fast, and the SCV cut just hurt me too much. So what did I say? /R? Yeah, -R. Sorry. So we'll restart and we'll try this again. This timer up here in the top right is the one you want to be following if you care about game time. And guys, this timer is just always going to be, constantly going. That doesn't reset when you restart this game. Okay, so what are we going to do differently this time? I guess I should decide this before I got this far in. It's a good question. Gotta decide soon. Oops, I finished that. Kinda sucks. So around 16th SCV. We'll try building the command center on 16 again. I just like the idea of an early command center. I guess I didn't see how the EBA timed. Let's build 17th SCV. And then build all the infrastructure, and then continue SCV production. See how this turns out. I have more gas than I need to. Maybe we'll go gas, barracks, gas. Try that. Barracks. Gas. eBay. And go back into SCV production. There's my 19th SCV. It looks like it's timed pretty well with the command center. Okay, so Ninja Bay finished a touch early, but that's not a big deal. The gas is right around the right amount. Do have enough for the fortress. The barracks finished early, however, I can't, besides making a marine, I can't get the orbital. Hmm. I did hit 19 of 19, I think around a decent time. I can't remember, maybe I supply cap for a little bit, but that's okay. So everything kind of lined up a lot nicer here. The advantages over my old build is like this command's gonna be done faster, so if early lings arrive, they don't get that same opportunity to snipe my SCV. I can get first marine quicker, although I can't really get my orbital for that faster because I can't afford it. I could even at this point say, well, have I seen any lings yet? Or did he take another hatchery? And decide like right now either to get the orbital if I feel I'm safe or get the PF if I feel I'm not safe. I could do something like that. But it's hard for me to think on the fly here. I want to keep this short for a video, but at the same time this stuff usually takes a little bit of time for me. Trying to think how to tweak this better. What I'm wanting to do right now is I'm really liking this idea of still having that huge supply cap, but being able to build an orbital during that time. So if I could still get the command center later, but fit in the barracks sooner. So what if we? No, I barely had enough gas. I wonder if barracks first could actually work somehow. If I go up to 16, build a barracks on 16, build a command center on 16, then continue my SCV production and get gas. Let's just see how bad that turns out. In fact, I could build the barracks a lot earlier in 16 because I don't need 400. I don't need to save up 400. But if I wait till 16, I'll get a little bit of extra money because I'll have more SCV mining for a little bit longer. Whichever one's building the barracks, I'll have more mining time. What to do? What to do? So 14, 15, 16. I can believe the inch bay again. Not a big deal though, because it doesn't really getting that money back doesn't really affect this part of the game. I don't get back until usually after the PF's done. 16 watts, I want to stop that. Let's just move out like 450 to send these two guys now. This has low before 450. Now let's restart SCV production and get the gas in inch bay as we can afford it. Send this guy home. Usually this guy would have been home by now, so let's put the inch bay there. It's the orbital. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Build a marine too. Or really go home. Probably should have been mining. And that lined up pretty well too. Okay. So let's see, we hit 20 seconds, we'll be at 5:11. So I did this at started my PF at 4:51. I kind of want to take a look at this in replay. First of all, I want to look at when I usually start my orbital with the old style. So I'm just looking at the build I do all the time in TvZ right now. Blah, engineering bay block, command center on 400, yeah. Gas, barracks, inch bay. And boom. Okay, so 10 seconds difference. So ideally I would want to make my command center faster, but it looks like I'm actually making it later. However, it kind of worked out decently. Sorry guys, I knew I said this would be a boring video. I hope you guys took that threat seriously. Okay, so we're just going to fast forward through this. What can I talk about during this time? Yeah, so I like the idea of rather than trying to remove the supply block time, still hit that supply block at 19, but spend that time turning this into an orbital. And I think this recent variance I just did kind of worked out well for that. I just need to get to it. Unfortunately, with this Yaba, it's all in one replay, right? So reviewing it can be a little bit annoying, so I gotta go all the way to the last one here. So basically it looks like this build is going to be just like my old one. The command center will be down just about the same time. It'll turn to a PF just about the same time. The wall will still be up in time. The only difference is I can get an orbital faster. It also means I can get my first marine quicker too. Well, just a touch quicker though, because I still have to wait until the command center finishes so I can go to 20 supply. So barracks is finished. In fact, it's finished too early. Well, not really. Just 6 seconds too early. I think. Let's see. The money's probably not going to work out well though for the orbital. I still have to build the engine bay. Oh no, I've already built the engine bay. I forgot I built it over here by accident. So let's see. 1410. Just want to get the moment this finishes. And SCV is done. Populating gas. I'm at 90 minerals. Okay, so it's not set up perfectly to build the orbital. Also, I can't get any use out of this barracks. I don't want to build a marine, even if I could, because it means one less SCV. So, if I could delay this barracks a little bit more, it might even turn out better. So I don't have the money for it, and also the SCV is still the last SCV still has another 6 seconds left of build time. So if I could finish this, say 6 seconds later, it looks like it would time out a lot better. I'm thinking I sent out my units too quickly though, to take the barracks and the command center. So the reason I'm doing this at the same time, even though I could have afforded to build that barracks a lot earlier, is one, I won't have any use for that barracks, and two, the longer I wait, the more, just say this is the SCV who's building the barracks, he gets to go back and forth here like 2 or 3 more times, so it gives me a little extra money the longer I wait. So this actually cost me $550 to build these 2 structures, so if I sent this out later, that would have got me like another round of minerals from both those guys, and then I wouldn't have had this wait time, and this barracks would have been a little bit later, so it would have timed out a little bit better. So I think I should move out at like 450. That means I acquire 100 minerals as I'm traveling to this point. You can see this didn't actually work out perfectly. Barracks goes down, and I can't actually afford the command center. So yeah, just doing this portion right will probably make it, well, it definitely will make it better. Let's see how perfect it makes it though. Okay, bookmarks, daybreak. And let's start game. Okay. So this is the builder I'm going for. Supply depot on 10. Or I guess I'll say it the way I think of it. I never do it on supply counts. Basically, I wait until this says 9 of 11. And then I queue it to the front wall, because the next one's going to build my supply depot. I gotta queue up another SCV. And right after this guy pops, you want to send out your engineering bay block SCV as well. So there we go. And we keep making SCVs. So we're going to queue up 16 SCVs. Well, queue up to 16th SCV, we'll say. After we build the engine bay. Alright, so that's the 13th, 14th. 15 and 16. That's all I want for SCVs. Take this guy up early so I don't forget about it again. So either wait until this hits 450 and then we're going to send out 2 SCVs. Oh, I went early again. Oh well. Close enough though. And now we're continuing SCV production. And we'll do gas engine bay as we can afford it. Wow, I can even use the same guy. The barracks guy can build the engine bay. That's kind of cool. And now we need to wait for the orbital. Okay, so weight's not too bad. If I didn't pull that guy off, I would might have had an extra 5 minerals. So you can see I'm stuck in 1919, but my command center is pretty active anyways. That finishes, I can build that, I can build a marine, build an SCV, call down a mule. So started the fortress just around the same time as last game, 451. Okay, let's just do it one more time just to get as crisp as possible. The barracks guy builds Inge Bay. Don't move out until I have 450 to build those 2 structures. Get as many minerals as possible. And remember, this is without doing any mineral boosting or trying to double up on one of these patches, on one of the close patches. So I may even be able to do it better than this, but I don't like to practice best case scenario. I like to practice like a typical scenario where I'm, just not doing things perfectly. I have 11, next one builds that, send this out. I don't have to actually. Okay, so 14, 15, 16 SCVs. Now we're waiting for 450. Or maybe I can make this SCV one of them. Yeah, it times well, so make this SCV the one that builds that. And then right behind we'll build the barracks. That's an easier way of remembering it. So I'm still here early. We continue SCV production and throw down the gas as we can afford it. liking this. This finishes. BF, Marine, SCV, Mule. Yeah. Okay, that didn't actually take as long as I thought it would to get it perfect. I was afraid this video would last forever. It may not be perfect, but I kind of like the way it timed out. I can think about some more later. But yeah, Fortress finished a little bit quicker this time. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to do is the I guess we can load this up and replay as I do finishing thoughts. I guess for me it's easier to have mental cues rather than like, oh, it's, you know, gotta look for when it says 450 minerals, that's when you send out your SCV to do something. It's easier for me to remember, like, okay, my last SCV that I make before I stall my SCV production, that's the one it goes to make the command center. And then I know at the exact same time that happens, I want to send out the next SCV to return minerals to bring it over here to build the barracks. And that gets the command center just a touch faster and the barracks a touch slower, and both of those I think optimize my build a touch. Okay, so here's the build. So depot, hinge bay, so I shouldn't skim through that part there. So here we are at like 315. That's the 16th SCV. I send it to make the command center. And then just behind it, maybe a couple seconds more behind it because I'm only at 470 minerals right now because I just queued up the barracks. So yeah, well, I don't know. It's close enough. But if I slowed this guy down just a touch more, then I would have been able to afford both these structures. So I'd have to wait for a bit. And then continue SCV production, and we'll throw down the gases. 17th, 18th, and 19th SCVs. Make them as you can afford them. Don't have a gap in your production, but at the same time get the two gases as soon as you can. And then this guy, who's not mining anyways and is far away from the mineral line, so while he's out here, he can build the hinge bay. One thing to note, this is 410. So you are vulnerable to Zerglings up until 410. I think that's okay. I don't think Slowlings can make it across the map this fast unless you did like, a 12 pool or earlier pool than that. But if he sees this hinge bay and then throws down his pool on 14 or 15 in response to it, I don't think Slowlings will ever get across the map before you've started this wall. Hinge bay after the barracks is done. As soon as you can afford it, orbital, which should be like right behind actually. In fact, you could probably queue up that hinge bay. Maybe that's what I should have done. Yeah, right at this point here, this SCV, I haven't queued up to move here, but you can actually just place the hinge bay. Just tell us set this SCV to build this hinge bay, and then as soon as it hops off this barracks, it'll throw it down. And that way you can just sit holding this and just holding down the B button until you have orbital money. So there's a 19th SCV. Now I'm stuck at 19 of 19. I'm supply capped. This command center cannot build any more SCVs, but you notice the barracks finish up at a nice time, just about the same moment, and now I can build the orbital command. Which means I'm keeping this active anyway, so it doesn't matter that I'm supply capped. Orbital, orbital, orbital. It's not perfect. There's about 5 seconds of wasted time there, but a lot better than 50 seconds of wasted time. Also not perfect that this barracks can't actually mill the marine. But again, it's an improvement over what I had. That finishes with 170 gas, so I have perfect amount of gas basically to build the planetary fortress, and about 250 minerals, in which I can spend 150 right here on building the planetary, another 50 right there building a marine, and then as soon as it's done, I can build another SCV. SCV is spent there, and that just went through my mineral bank, and I can call down a mule. So you can see the only downside to this build over my past one is this command center, I think, is about 10 seconds later. But we've completely eliminated that that's like 50 seconds of inactivity from this command center by now getting a faster orbital command. This wall off might be a touch later too, but I don't think that's really relevant because I don't think links get out here that fast. And maybe even this early barracks will help me. In a dire situation, like just say he brought a scout drone in my base and then just threw down a hatchery right here. Like all of a sudden I had to go in panic mode because of that because I don't have any production to like actually kill anything. But now with this earlier barracks, I can build earlier bunkers. I can try to wall around the. If he builds to say here, I can try to like wall around it quicker. It gives me some more options against like some one of those ridiculous all-ins. Yep, so this is just the last thing I want to check. I just want to see exactly how late the fortress is, and then we'll call it the end of this video. Yeah, so that's going to be my new build order. I guess I'll write the description in. I'll write the build order in the description to this video. SCV count should be exactly the same as my old build. I think the only real two changes is a faster orbital, much faster orbital command, and a touch late on the wall off and the command center. Let's see, starting the planetary fortress at 441, and I think it was 448 on the other build, so it's almost insignificant. Given there are lots of games where I'm like, my SCV has got this command center 95% done when the links, start killing it. So those annoying games where maybe I barely hold, like maybe I had to pull down one SCV to complete this. Maybe now I'll have to pull down 3. One of the games where I had to pull down 3 SCVs to save this, I would just die with this build. Because it can be a really tight timing sometimes if it gets linked here really fast. But that's happens rare enough that I'm okay losing that 1 in 50 games now that I wouldn't have otherwise, just to be economically stronger in like the other 49 out of 50 games. So you can see, I think it right around 4. What was it, 4? Yeah, I think it's right around now. Around 440 actually. My orbital was done. You can see here I haven't even started it yet. When did I finish the wall up to? It was 410, I think, right? In this game, right there, I did the orbital. It's around 4 minutes. Yeah, so wall off's about 10 seconds late. Command center finishes about 10 seconds late. Alright, cool. I hope this video wasn't boring for all of you, but it's definitely different than what I normally do. This is the way you can tweak a build order. It's good to like examine your own replays for stuff like this. Like, do you have like an opening build? Like, if you copy a guest one from Team Liquid or something that Pro uses, then it should be pretty precise. But if you like making up your own builds, you should look for like these holes and then like kind of how to fix them. And for me, it was that 40-second period of time where my command center was idle. So either figure out a way to get that command center active somehow, either by fixing that supply cap, or in this case, it was using that time to build the orbital. All right, thank you everyone. Thumbs up link will be the build order, and yeah, goodbye.